Fortnite removed this item and didn't tell anybody. And it's not the only time that they've secretly removed something from Fortnite. Back in Chapter 1 or 2017, Double Pump was arguably what made Fortnite popular. People like Daquan, Ninja, and many others were completely abusing the way that you could use 2 OG pumps and basically one-shot people over and over again. And although this was one of my favorite strategies ever in Fortnite, a lot of people didn't like it because you could basically wipe entire squads in 4 quick shotgun shots. So in 2018, Fortnite nerfed it for the first time, and then a few seasons later, they added a delay when you pull out shotguns, and Double Pump was never to be seen again. Next up, we have the Infinity Blade, which was introduced in Chapter 1, Season 7, and let's just keep it simple. This was absolutely broken. People barely knew how to build, and this weapon would destroy everything and do so much damage that Fortnite eventually decided, let's get rid of this thing. In Chapter 1, Season 4, Fortnite did a collab with Marvel that brought us a whole bunch of Marvel mythic items and a brand new LTM. But the main thing that this brought was the Infinity Gauntlet, which was a fan favorite item that didn't last very long in Fortnite because it was a collab. It was a mythic gauntlet that randomly spawned on the map, but the person that managed to find it and pick it up became super overpowered Thanos that could eliminate players instantly. I don't think we'll ever see it back in Fortnite Battle Royale, unless Epic forks out a little bit of cash. Did you guys know that before there were bounce pads, Fortnite actually added an item called the Direction Pad, which was basically like a bounce pad, but 30 times worse. It was still a cool item, don't get me wrong, but you could only go one direction and not very far at all. So when Fortnite finally ended up creating the bounce pad, there wasn't really any use for the Direction Pad, and it was gone forever. Next up, we have the Zapatron. This was one of the earliest items in Fortnite Battle Royale. You could hit people through structures, and it would do around 150 damage. Now that I think about it, we've actually had items in Fortnite that have done basically the same thing. I'm talking about you, the railgun. Next up, do you remember the Zapper Trap? It was a purple rarity item that went into your trap slot that basically not a single person used. People were super excited when it first got added to the game, but then people quickly caught on that it was not a very good item. And when Epic found out that people were dropping them out of their inventories instead of using them, they made the decision to vault them forever, which honestly, I'm not too sad about. The original traps, on the other hand, I am sad that they're gone because they were one of the first items that Fortnite added. And although they were extremely broken and good players were trapping people like crazy and one-shotting them, the sound that those OG green rarity traps made is one of the most nostalgic sounds in Fortnite. Another item that was removed from Fortnite that made a lot of people angry was the removal of the guided missile. A lot of people were super happy when it was removed, and a lot of people were super sad. A lot of people didn't know how to feel about it because for the people that knew how to use it, it felt like a cheat code. You could rocket ride yourself, you could hit people from a rocket while you're sitting in a base 300 meters away, and after the outrage of people complaining about it, Fortnite eventually decided to vault it and make some changes, but they never brought it back. So who knows, we may never see the guided missile ever again. The next item that we have that you probably didn't even know existed is called the Eye of the Storm Tracker. This was an item in Fortnite that only a few people got to see because it was vaulted faster than any other item has ever been vaulted in Fortnite history. I'm talking like 15 minutes. It was a blue rarity item that you could find in chests that should not have been in the game, that had the appearance of a backbling, and it told you where the next storm circle was going to be. But it did later return as the Storm Scout sniper rifle, which also kind of didn't really last that long either. So Fortnite basically gave up altogether and added an augment in Chapter 4 called Forecast. But the next thing that was removed from Fortnite is in Season 6 of Chapter 1, one of the Battle Pass skins called Calamity had 2 major problems that were way too jiggly, and they removed the 2 bouncy problems super quickly. But I kind of wish that they didn't. Next up, we have the shopping cart, which was one of the best items in Fortnite history, and one of the most important things in Fortnite history, because the shopping cart was basically responsible for all vehicles in Fortnite. The shopping cart paved the way. And once these new vehicles started getting added to Fortnite, like the hoverboard, like the ballers, like the cars, there was no reason to have the shopping cart in the game anymore, which is super sad. An item that got removed that doesn't make me sad, however, is the poison trap. When this was added in Season 9, it didn't do a lot of damage and it was super underwhelming. There really wasn't any use for it at all, unless you felt like tickling your opponents. But that's okay because Fortnite realized this and quickly got rid of it because there was no point in having it in the game. But what isn't okay is how long it took Epic to get rid of this next thing. That's right, I'm talking about the mechs. Mechs basically made Season X unplayable. The only redeeming feature about them was that you could emote with them, which was pretty funny. But other than that, mechs were super overpowered, arguably more overpowered than the Infinity Blade was. And that's saying something. Fortnite even made an attempt to nerf them, but it did absolutely nothing, and they were still running rampant. They brought back mechs in Chapter 2 for a brief while, just like they did with the shopping carts, but they were nowhere near as good. Still super, super annoying though. Another thing you probably didn't know existed was the talking mushroom in Weeping Woods in Chapter 2. If you were lucky enough to find this talking mushroom and you gave him 100 wood, the mushroom would follow you around like a cute little pet and heal you every time you took damage. I wasn't lucky enough to find this little guy, but for the people that did, what was it like? He was removed less than 24 hours after he was added. Speaking of mushrooms, did you know Fortnite added a golden mushroom that when you consumed it, it gave you 200 health? Well, you probably didn't, because in Chapter 2, this was one of the rarest items in the game, alongside the mythic goldfish, which is another cool item that Fortnite got rid of, by the way. This golden mushroom was super rare, and only a handful of people found it. But once people finally started catching on that this was in the game, suddenly no one could find it anymore. It's one of Fortnite's biggest mysteries. The Midas Flopper and Vendetta Floppers were fish that were added in Chapter 2 that had extremely low catch rate. I'm talking less than a 1% chance. When you ate the Vendetta Flopper, it would mark everyone in your area, and when you ate the Midas Flopper, it turned everything in your inventory legendary. But after a while of them being in the game, Fortnite eventually vaulted them. And to be honest, I didn't even notice that they did it, because it wasn't like I was finding them all the time anyway. But something everyone noticed was gone was Coral Castle. This was one of the only POIs that when it was gone, people actually celebrated. I cried for 4 days straight when they got rid of Tilted Towers. But when Coral Castle was removed, let's just say I hit the gritty multiple times. And the reason it got removed, there was not a lot of action going on over there. No one landed there. It was honestly not a terrible POI. It was just put in the middle of the ocean. So I see why it's gone. But for all the people that liked Coral Castle, Fortnite actually brought it back for a little while because of one of the reality trees taking over the butter barn. Another major thing that happened in Chapter 3 was that multiple skins got removed from Fortnite. The Siren skin was taken out of the game because if you used its alternate style, the skin would glitch out completely and you would turn completely black. And it was insanely broken, which was similar to what they did with the superhero skins back in Chapter 2. They got rid of them and a lot of people were worried that they would never come back. And it's not the only time that Fortnite have got rid of skins, because in Chapter 3, the Slurp Legends skins were disabled and removed because of a bug that made them invisible, which does make a lot of sense, but people were not happy because they spent their hard-earned money on it. Who knows, your favorite skin could be next. Another item that got removed that made a lot of people upset was the removal of the Spider-Man mythics. Now, Fortnite did replace it with the grapple glove, but it just wasn't the same. The Spider-Man mythic was one of the greatest items that Fortnite had ever added, but because it was a collab with Spider-Man, there was absolutely no way it was going to stay in the game for longer than one season. But this item in particular was different. The Spider-Man mythic was super fun, super satisfying, and I truly believe that Chapter 3 Season 1 would have been pretty boring without it. So when it got removed, as you can imagine, a lot of people were not happy, including me. One of the most hyped up updates in Fortnite history was the weather update. But the tornadoes and the lightning that Fortnite added, they really just ended up being annoying and insanely loud. So I'm not surprised that Fortnite got rid of the weather events. Another great decision that Fortnite made was getting rid of tanks. Tanks were basically the mechs of Chapter 3. Super annoying, did way too much damage, and a lot of people didn't like them. Especially with the release of Zero Build, these tanks made you unstoppable. That was until people finally realized one tiny little detail that would change everything. You can shoot the driver super easily because he's just sitting there right at the front of the tank. And when people finally caught on, no one used tanks anymore. So Fortnite eventually made the decision to vault them and never bring them back. So many other amazing items and things were removed from Fortnite, like snipers, the Dragon Ball Z mythics, quad crashes, the inflator bull item, the overpowered plasma cannon. The list goes on. But there is one thing that was removed from Fortnite, or should I say, killed, and you probably guessed it. It's Klombo. Sparking the biggest outrage in Fortnite history, Klombo was added in Chapter 3 Season 1, and by Chapter 3 Season 3, all that was left was the skeleton of Klombo. One of the cutest creatures in Fortnite, brutally removed from the game. And the only thing left to do is hope that Klombo comes back. That's the only thing we can do. But maybe liking this video and subscribing will help the chances. Let's try it out. I want everyone to like this video and subscribe in the next 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Hopefully Epic sees this video.